of a backstory. Back when we moved here, and probably since the place was built, it was a Crowne Plaza. Then at some point, it lost. I guess it lost its franchise or whatnot because it became the Hampton Marina Inn. And I thought, oh, that's it for this place. But nope, it was renovated again, much to my surprise, and it became a Tapestry collection by Hilton, which really surprised me. Let's go ahead and see what it's like. Well, I guess it's nice to see that despite a couple of rebrandings, things truly don't change. Yep, nothing's changed. At least it's Dover, so despite how poorly it's maintained, it's still gonna run kind of well. Kind of a creepy hallway. Alright, so we are looking for room 922. It's odd. I wonder what this is. Looks like some sort of office. Oh, it's a boardroom. It's kind of a cool boardroom. Could be a little bit... I'm sure if they tried, they could have made these a lot smaller. The smallest little signs I've ever seen. Oh, and we're already unlocked. Come on, seriously? Do you not know how to paint? Look at this wall. I mean, and they didn't even try with this wall up here. You can see that's just bare drywall. Look. Alright, so we're at the landing in Hampton, Virginia. We're going to be taking a tour of room 922. Hi everybody, post-production me here, and I'm sorry for leaving y'all on such of a cliffhanger, but after staying at this hotel and seeing some of the quite obvious maintenance problems falling through the cracks, I thought I'd do some research and check out this interesting bit of information that I found. So here's the Hampton property records. You can see the hotel is owned, or at least managed, by Shaman Hotels, which appears to be, you know, just another one of these hotel management companies that looks like they run at least one of each hotel under the sun. But it seems like they specifically specialize in Hilton hotels since they have quite a bit of them. But check out one of the Hilton hotels that they run. First off, nice RFID lock with, of course, the Hilton key. Oh, look at that. Dimmer switch. Typical deadbolt. This latch arm thing, and then I don't know what that was. The first thing I could tell is this door is probably original from the 80s when this hotel was probably built. It was painted nicely, but it looks like it's one of those cases where it's been painted a million different times, and you can start to see that it's grown a bit in size because of that. I mean, nothing really wrong with that. I mean, at least it, for the most part, hides it well, except for that stain down there and a lot of chips. But yeah, I just kind of reminds me of some apartment. And this looks kind of scummy right here. But it's still nice. It says we have 4 elevators, but I only saw 3. I guess there's going to be a service elevator somewhere. And like, I'm not really sure what this is, but it looks kind of janky. On the upside, we do have a relatively new light. And then there's a big mirror. And I'll show you the room in a bit because it's actually really cool. But we'll see first off if the rest of the room is holding up. So here's the bathroom with some barn doors. I hate barn doors. And these don't look that great. As you can see, they don't close all the way. So in the event that you sleep with somebody who's a particularly light sleeper and you need to turn the bathroom lights on when you have to use the bathroom, well, you might just wake them up. And also, I mean, look at these doors are actually kind of scummy. As well as these handles are just not put on very well. Like this little spacer is turning into a diamond. Yeah, and these are just kind of clunky. Like I said, I really despise barn doors, and the floor looks like it was not adequately cleaned down here. It almost looks like that's some sort of caulking, but I don't really know why it's there. But here's the bathroom, which does, for the most part, look nice and modern. Again, this is definitely an older hotel, and you can tell they tried to do their best, but again, we'll see how well that's going, because yeah, this is not a budget hotel. This is, you know, definitely a bit higher end. So I guess they probably had some sort of, I'll bet it was that sort of like where they had the light, where they had like the plastic like checkerboard style diffuser in there, and then they took it out and it just doesn't look right. We can tell that this probably runs on 50 hertz, at least the transformer for it does, because it's really quite flickery, at least with my camera. But I mean, for the most part, a relatively nice presentation. Everything's incredibly white. Kind of a bunch of nicks on the wall. Not really sure how that happens. Ew. 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 Nothing like finding a large hairball on the floor. Another thing I've noticed in this incredibly scratched up sink is it's like barely open, so I guess we'll see how quickly it drains. And so it drains faster than I was expecting, but again, not great presentation. Some soap, complimentary cups, one with a rip in it. How does that happen? And then some shampoo and such. I like the presentation on the tissue box. And here is the shower area. The floor looks kind of worn, but honestly not too bad. Interesting place for the fan, the exhaust fan, which doesn't work. At least if it does, it just barely works. Oh, that doesn't look too nice. Again, it really is the little things like this that, like, you can tell once upon a time somebody cared about this place, and then, like, clearly the level of maintenance that's needed is not happening. Really quite weird knob, too. So I guess let's see if we can get myself and the camera really wet. Actually, I'm going to turn this way, because if that turns on, it really is going to just shoot onto my face. Boy, I called that. It was on. And yeah, as we can see, there's quite a lot of leaks coming from that. Whoa, that's really awful. Oh, I was hoping for the main shower to turn on. Oh, gorgeous. Nope, that's kind of about as good as you're going to get. Well, at least there's water coming out, but man, that is not a good shower. And that drain is really loud. Yeah. At least the toilet's kind of cool. It looks kind of dirty with these streaks going down it, but this is one weird toilet. Okay. I guess that's all there needs to be said about that. But down here we have our linens. Everything looks relatively all right. No, that's a kind of a weak bathroom if I don't say so myself, but let's see if the rest of the room gets better. Sorry about that. I had a really bad itch on my back. And I just noticed this. This might be a little bit hard to see. Actually, I take that back. I thought this was really bad paint, but no, it's actually, it looks like wallpaper. It's just texture and the light is grabbing in a specific way, so. Alrighty. Check out this room. Look at how high the ceiling is. Wow. I have to say, I mean, I know this is, on the surface, it's a very 80s hotel, but it certainly is a nice one. If you can appreciate this 80s architecture like I can. Although what I cannot appreciate is this lamp, like right in the main view that's crooked, and with a little piece of fiber hanging out. Oh, this looks. What happened to it? I don't think there's anything easy that's gonna fix that. It just looks really wonky. Okay. Okay, well, anyways, so these are the beds, which look like couches. I imagine that's the what they're trying to go for, but all I can tell is, man, oh man, did they do a really bad paint job on this back wall, but we'll take a look at it in a little bit. So first off, this is the front of the front like TV console area. I turned the power off on the smart box, and evidently it's not linked. The remote does not work on the TV because the TV is stayed on, but the TV box is turned off. And on the back we have quite a nasty mess of wiring. This glass feels incredibly smooth. That's not too bad. Kind of scratched up, but that's to be expected, I guess. Interesting place for the phone. I mean, there is no desk, so I guess you need to put the phone somewhere. In here we have just some really basic storage. And then in here, yep, I heard it right, there is a mini fridge. And that's actually clean. Move my camera bag out of the way. Here's the coffee maker with the coffee. Really kind of weird looking packets, but everything looks like it's presented nicely. Oh, okay, so I completely overlooked this. So the reason why there's so limited amount of storage in there is because there's an actual wardrobe right here, which has, looks like some extra blankets. Oh. Extra blankets in a bag that is not closed. Some hangers, an iron, an ironing board, and a safe. That might actually work. What does this say? So it tells you pretty much that you can use this, but the only real way to make it safe is to use the complimentary safety deposit box down in the lobby. I believe that's actually a law that hotels have to provide that service, at least in Virginia. And I guess this is for getting, yeah, this is a, to get your stuff dry cleaned. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this wall. So I'm not sure if that's like dust. It probably is dust, and it's probably not very easy to clean because the the ceiling is so high, so I guess we'll give them a bit of a pass there. But what I cannot give them a pass for is look at how, like, disgusting this wall is. And it looks like they did a pretty terrible job painting it too. Like, I don't know what all this stuff on the wall is. I don't know if it's, like, again, some more dust from the air vent right there. But it just looks hideous. And down here it looks even worse. It really looks like they just did like one coat of paint and they didn't do a very good one at that. And like this right here, I guess the lamp's all right, but this doesn't look too presentable right here. At least it works. So then we have just a very basic looking alarm clock with some, looks like it like barely works. I hope it's at least telling the right time. Ooh. Okay, so it's about 6 minutes fast. It's 3:29 right now. So not the worst I've seen, but still, especially in a clock like this where they don't expect you to be able to change the time, make sure the time is all right. Oh, and look at this down here. We have some food residue. I don't know what that red stuff is, but it's certainly not mine. Looks like there's some more down there too. And okay, so they have power outlets on one side, power outlets. Okay, so again, they do this what I find to be very annoying is they use the one of the publicly accessible outlets for the clock. And they even look, they even have a free outlet down there. Come on. Anywho. Ew. I guess there's some more of that mystery red stuff. So I guess this bed will be mine. The pillows seem nice. They're big. Typical basic Hilton bedding. You have a top sheet, a comforter, and then the bottom sheet. And with the exception of the linens being kind of wrinkly, they look fine. They feel really nice too, as well as the bed. Oh, and they find for once they use a actual fitted sheet. But all right, so the mattress looks like it's completely encased in something. I guess that's good, but that means we won't be able to see it. Alrighty. I actually really like the artwork. Like, it kind of works in a place like this where people of my age group are probably going to be staying. But again, everything is kind of like coated in dust. And these aren't that high up. I mean, I just take a duster. That would clean that off. But over here, there's like a whole paint chip coming off. Would love to know how that happens. Huh. Some frayed carpet, but not really in an area that you'd expect somebody to see it. But check this out right here. So they took the end point of the room, because all these rooms have, at least on this floor, have these really funky looking windows, really funky looking on the outside. Oh, that doesn't, somebody had a loud car, and I heard all of that. And they took this, they turned the space into a nice little seating area, which actually is a really nice use of space. So we have this really big chair, which looks, I was expecting it to be a little bit more comfortable, but it's not too bad. You can get a nice view of the room. And then from here, you can take a look outside and see a probably really expensive apartment complex. And pretty much most of downtown, you can't see 2 Eaton, which is kind of disappointing. You can also see the pool that looks like it really ought to be cleaned a little bit. It is the off season, but it still looks quite heinous. Over here is the Virginia Air and Space Center. That's at least has affiliation with NASA. Word to the wise, if I haven't mentioned this already, there is a parking garage attached to this hotel. They charge $10 a day for parking. If you don't mind spending $10 a day for parking, especially for one day, that's all right. But if you're spending more than a couple of days here, you want to cheap out like I am, that parking garage right there has actually free long-term parking on the top floors. It's only a couple blocks away. Over there is the Coliseum, the Embassy Suites, and then the Convention Center. Over here is the part of Hampton University, and then the Naval Station in Norfolk. And yeah, it just really affords a really nice little view. The thing that's a little bit less nice is these windows are kind of like aging to the point where it's kind of hard to see out of them, as like all windows from the 80s kind of do. But it's disappointing because if you're tall like me and you want to get up on your tiptoes to see stuff, it's really not very valuable to do that. But if you don't mind ducking down, you can get otherwise a really nice view of downtown Hampton. This is like the only hotel down here, so I guess they have their niche. But I guess that'll be just about it. Thank you very much for watching. And before I go, I should mention it does have central, some sort of central cooling system over there. And then up there, way up there, I just noticed they have a sign that says "Don't hang stuff on the hanger," or "Don't hang stuff on the sprinkler." But unless you're like 20 feet tall, I don't know how you're gonna make use of that. Speaking of 20 feet tall, even look at this this rod. First off, it's really long, and I can just barely reach it, and I'm about 6 foot high. But they have these really nice curtains. Wow. Well, I guess that'll be just about it. Thank you very much for watching, and that'll be it.